Hey everyone, and welcome to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the page, be sure to give us a like and a sub so you're not missing any of the content we have coming out. And today we're going to be diving into Marvel Zombies Resurrection, part number 2. Now, if you guys haven't been following this line, this is a new reboot of the Marvel Zombies Resurrection that took place a couple years ago. And this is Philip Kennedy Johnson's pretty much his take on how he wanted this to play out. And we last left off with the Fantastic Four kids and Peter Parker making their way to the Galactus Hive to try to find a cure to cure Reed Richards and the others. And this is when they ran into Blade. Now, if you guys didn't check out that issue, I'll leave a link both at the top of the video and in the description so you can check it out. And without further ado, let's dive into this issue. So getting into this issue, we're met with the same nightmare that Peter Parker has been having over and over again. And it's the Fantastic Four as zombies taking the Reed Richards children. And he wakes up from this and they're flying over the phalanx wall. Now, Blade lets them know this is all non-organic territory now. So when everything kicked off, when the humans were still in abundant numbers and fighting back, they were using robots. S.H.I.E.L.D. and AIM Coalition were using them to fight against the dead at first. The machines can't turn into the undead, so obviously it's a great line of defense. But it's gotten to the point where the robots are really, it's all that's left. So these guys are holding out on their own. And it's pretty much, zombie versus robots at this point, duking it out for King of the Hill. And this is where Peter Parker really asks Blade, what are you doing here? We all have a mission, but we don't really understand what you're doing here. And for Blade, this is like Disneyland for him. Killing the undead is all Blade has ever cared about, and now he has a literal killing frenzy, a buffet, if you will. And before they're able to finish any more of this conversation, they're attacked and they're shot out of the sky. And this throws them right into the heat of the battle. There's literally zombies everywhere coming down to take them out. And this is when we see an Inu assault unit come in and pretty much save the day. And at first they're going to attack, they're going to attack the Fantastic Four kids, but Nana smashes them. But she's so damaged at this point that she's not really able to do much more than this. And then they're surrounded, and this is where they see Viv. And so the robots decide to take them back to the hanging bay, the holding bay that they have for humans. And Valerie and Viv have a conversation here, and it's really just, we're learning that Viv has really been damaged and she's had some things replaced, so she's not necessarily the same person she was. And it's been so long that since she's talked to actual humans, it's almost unnatural for her at this point. And they both reminisce and talk about people that they've lost and have been lost since all of this taken place. And Peter Parker has a conversation with Frank Castle. Now, the Punisher is straight up a robot at this point. A transmode virus, if you will. And pretty much, he came to the conclusion this is the only way to stay alive against the undead is to lose your humanity to save your humanity. And Blade really thinks that it's a dumb concept. Why would you end your life to protect your life? It just really makes no sense, and it's completely counterproductive to what you're trying to accomplish here. And we find out that they were actually leading them into the transmode virus room. And Viv is just saying, this is for your guys' own good. The likelihood of you getting infected by the respawn is increasing every day, and this is the only thing that can help protect you. But the issue is this doesn't affect Blade. This doesn't affect Franklin. They're individuals that this transmod virus is just ineffective on. And Val's been thinking this whole time that she can find some kind of way, some kind of cure to be able to heal everybody. And we really learn from Viv here is that, it's not a disease, but it's a submicrobial parasitic organism, sharing a collective consciousness. So it's a parasite that burrows into the brain and takes over the body. So whatever was there is no longer. Everybody's dead. And Val really rejects this. She doesn't like the idea of this. She's not accepting of it. She's just like, no. My father, Reed Richards, would never accept that as an answer, and neither will I. And as they're having this conversation, they hear a rumbling and then a crash through the wall. And we're met with an army of undead Hulks. And they are just ripping apart these robots. And Viv's response is run. This is the only thing we can do here is run as fast as we can, because there's no way that we're going to be able to fight these guys. And this is where we see our nanny robot, nanny robot pops up and grabs them as fast as they can, and they get out of there. But one of the Hulks is right on their tail, and this is where Viv is like, tells Peter, like, if you're really going after Galactus, why are you doing this? And Peter just needs something to believe in again, even if it's something as small and as simple or even unattainable as a cure. Peter needs something and someone to believe in, and that's these kids right now. These kids are literally everything in the grand scheme that's keeping him going. And so Viv here, she sacrifices herself. She jumps off and goes toe to toe with Hulk and just punches him in the face, and they fall to the ground. Now, picking up that later that evening, as they're getting closer to the Galactus radiation trail, they're really out in the middle of the ocean. So Peter Parker's not understanding why the Galactus hive would be in an area like this. They usually stay towards populated centers, populated areas, and things of that nature. But there's one thing that's out in the Atlantic Ocean, and that is the colony of Atlantis. And that will be where this issue ends. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Personally, I felt like this one could have been played out a little bit more with the arrival of all these Hulks. It's really something awesome and unique, and I would have really liked to see a maybe 2 to 4 page panel of people taking on the Hulks. I hope they definitely come into play later on, because it's going to be really awesome to see these guys. All in all, I really did enjoy this comic. The concept of people turning them into cyborgs essentially is really, I think, unique and a very plausible way to go about doing things if we had that technology available. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you haven't yet, be sure to like and subscribe to the page, and until the next video.